Okay, yes. What is that? It's a Triple B here. Base boxing basement. Yeah. Sorry, I've been a bit unwell. You feel me? But yeah, I just wanted to round up some of the news from the weekend, right? And firstly, I got to say thanks to Edwin H for trying to cash at me. Yeah, it failed because I believe I don't know, it was a US payment or something, and Cash App allow no international payments. But I really appreciate you, huh? And thanks to we were woofers for buying me 5 beers. I really appreciate it, bro. Much love to you, no homo, and thank you for the message. Based, and dare I say red pills. Great message, right? So Prograis, Devin Haney, Prograis. Well, I mean, it went out as I expected to an extent, i.e. that Haney win on points, but he was way more dominant than I thought. Prograis, I've never rated him that highly at the top level. His legs never seemed right. Yeah. Throughout the whole fight. And by the way, what was Devin Haney wearing, man? He looked like a giant untied shoe, you know? These shoelaces hanging out his gear, but I don't know. He's a weird guy. He dresses weird, man. And Rugaru, Prograis, came in wearing, I don't know, this werewolf type scenario, this werewolf demonic type outfit with his son or some kid. I don't know. As I said, I don't think people should bring their kids to fight. They ain't no football, right? This ain't no basketball match. This is when people get hurt, man. Yeah, I mean, it was a good performance by Haney. He showed a bit of power. He hurt Prograis. Prograis just couldn't seem to do anything. I don't know whether that's because Haney was so good or because Prograis was that limited. And Haney, he's got a massive advantage in boxing. Massive advantage. And that advantage is his nose. He's got the widest shotgun nostrils imaginable. And that means he can suck in a lot more air. Well, no, seriously, bro. He can suck in a lot of air while keeping his mouth closed, right? And that helps an awful lot. I'm not the only one who's made that comment, right? But yeah, I mean, well, whatever. Haney fought well. I'm not dissing it. Prograis is limited. I've always thought he was limited. And, I called it right, as in Haney on points, but I didn't expect such a dominant performance, right? What else happened? Early on, so Liam Paro from Australia, he beat up a guy called Montana Love. Montana Love, right? Who fought Steve Spark, another Aussie. Yeah, and now he's got to go back to his homeboys, Montana Love, after bragging about he was going to take care of Liam Paro, that Liam was no good. And he got beaten up by Crocodile Dundee after losing to Kangaroo Jack Steve Spark. Yeah. But that's boxing. Montana Love, ain't got no love for him. He's too cocky. Yeah, he got dealt with. He got stopped. He's probably making excuses. Oh, I'll come back better and stronger. Oh, shut up, man. You got a beat down. And yeah, it was nice to see. A boastful butt get broken, but that's the end of Montana Love at the top level. And then, of course, you have Ebony Bridges. This pleased me, man. She looked awful, even when shadow boxing, as she came in the ring. The Muhammad Ali of female boxing, according to Gareth, the Batman Davis, man. And, we watched her at the weigh-in, right? And they gave her a special point of view angle to show her ridiculous fake bolt-on boobies that don't belong to her. They belong to a plastic surgeon. Yeah. And it was like some old granny. It reminded me of an old granny who hadn't had any length for years at an Ann Summers party. Yeah. Dressing up in some skimpy outfit going, oh, don't I look great? And all the other deluded grannies agreeing, oh, you look wicked, Ebony. She looked revolting. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to be crude. This is not a Corey channel. I've said that many times. But I'd rather cut my Corey off than see it disappear up Ebony Bridges. If I had to smash her at gunpoint, if a gun was held to my head, yeah, I'd rather smash her with a dead man's Corey than my own. Someone else's Corey. She's so gross to me. Yeah. And I didn't even bother checking her opponent out, really, her Japanese opponent. She'd lost 3 of her last 5, and she's coming at short notice. I expected Bridges to outpoint her. And the Japanese single mum had her daughter at ringside. Now, as I said, I don't agree with that, man. Why would you have your kids at ringside where you're taking part in a violent sport where people can get hurt? I mean, obviously, this is women's boxing, so it's unlikely anyone will get properly hurt. But still, no one wants to see their mum get bashed in the face, man. But it was kind of sweet to see the daughter get all happy and all that, man. But yeah. Yeah, the impression I got watching the fight, I only watched about a minute of it, right? It was like seeing some old granny, right? Some middle-aged brass, right? Come to the Chinese takeaway and attack the cashier for getting her order wrong, you know? Getting all upset at the Chinese cashier for getting the order wrong. And then she gets a beating from the Chinese cashier. That's what it felt like, man. And hopefully this circus is finished, man. We don't have to watch this nonsense. She's like 37 anyway. She looks 47. Yeah, her sagging batty. Yeah, you seen her at the weigh-in. She looks like some old hooker who's past it, who can't really get a John to pay for her anymore. And I almost feel sorry for her because she took the wrong path. She should have stayed at home and been with a husband and raised a family. But no, she decided to become a skit. Yeah. And I hope maybe she can sort her life out, but I doubt it, man. She got OnlyFans and all this kind of thing, man. And, if she has a kid, she's not going to be much of a role model for the child, man. There's this expression, the 1,000-cock stare. Yeah, Ebony Bridges ain't got that. She got 100,000 cock stare. Yeah, and look at the weigh-in. The Japanese girl was horrified. She looked at her with utter contempt and disgust. I mean, who knows, man? She'll probably, she can join David Gay's bizarre harem vomit with the other slag, Helen Flanagan. Right? What they call it, a throuple. It's disgusting. And this is how they push degeneracy in the media. They will push that. They will make stories about this. And it's another way of trying to normalize this kind of degeneracy. What else was there? Tony Egg Yoka. Tony Egg Yoka got beaten by Ryad Merhy. Who's an ex-cruiserweight who, what's his name? Who the South African guy beat in his last fight, right? He was okay, Ryad Merhy, but he beat up Egg Yoka, who started crying. I've got no sympathy for you, man. I got no sympathy for you. You get given everything on a plate, and you mess up, and you're not good enough, and you lose. And that same fight card had, right, there were 5 fights. And there were 3 Yokas on the bill, man. So he's a family of bums, a family of Yoka bums on one card, And I would have quite liked to see him fight the Jugger bum, yeah, the Bummernaut, Joe Joyce, to give Joe a chance that would have fulfilled of a KO after he was robbed in 2016 Rio Olympics. That would have been good. But, that boxing, pro boxing, rarely, the perfect fights that should be made are rarely made. We haven't seen Tyson Fury Gage. Yeah? There's Tyson Fury Usyk. It's been made, but will it happen? I don't know. There's all kinds of fights that didn't happen. Hatton Witter. You know what I'm saying? But this is, as a pro boxing fan, this is what you get, man. You get promised a lot, and rarely do you get served up a treat. And what's the other big news? Well, Claressa Shields got knocked down. In fact, knocked out in sparring. And this is an old video from 2018 by a guy called Arturas Akhmetev or whatever from Latvia. Yeah, and he's absolutely flattens her, Claressa Shields. And Claressa Shields is like 20 pounds heavier. At that point, Arturas or whatever his name is weighed about 140 pounds. She weighed 160, and he absolutely flattens her. And Claressa Shields, like, she can't handle it, man. You got to remember, she would say, "Oh, I'll beat up Triple G, I'll beat up Rolly Romero, I'll beat up Keith," and she gets flattened in sparring by this guy, who's, he's had 2 knockouts out of 6 wins, and 1 loss to Rolly. Yeah. He's no one of any distinction, and he flattens her, and she goes nuts. She starts accusing. She says, "Anybody who puts this video up, I will sue you. I will sue you for defamation of character. I didn't get knocked out. I only got knocked down. You got flattened, sugar tits. You got flattened." Yeah. And it was well deserved. And as I've said many times, you got to understand the difference between women's boxing and men's boxing is so extreme that even like 15-year-old amateurs would flatten most of the so-called female world champions. Putting Ebony Bridges against a 15-year-old amateur who's half decent male, and he will flatten her. It's a joke. And the whole female boxing thing is a fraud. It's part of a larger agenda to pretend that men can be women and women can be men, and it doesn't matter, and you can be whatever you want to be. And Bridges was threatening legal action. Shows you don't know nothing about the law. How can it be done for? How can it be done, right? For libel, I think she said, because you put up a video of her getting knocked out. Oh, I didn't get knocked out. I only got put over. You look flat on your back, love. You rough old hooker. Yeah. And she said afterwards, "Oh yeah, I was gonna go and stab him. Oh, I was gonna stab him for knocking me down." Well, sorry, man. You can see in the video that she goes for it. She tries to hurt him, takes the piss, and he just goes bing. Right, and there's a guy called David Santos, the trainer, who says, right, on Twitter, he's like, wait a minute, she was taking the piss, she kept on fouling, right, and this guy, Arturas, is like, well, what am I going to do? He goes, well, whack her, so he whacked her, and he flattens her, right. This is like a very average guy, a very average fighter, and he flattens the so-called GWOAT, the greatest weave of all time. It's pathetic, man. And I've always made sure that people know, the difference between men and women in boxing, especially boxing. Even in like football, right? Women, the top teams, the Australian women's team, the USA team get whacked by 15-year-old boys, local teams, man. They cannot compete. Yeah. They cannot compete. It's a fraud. It's a lie, right? And listen, if you can, I'd love to see Rolly Romero, these Claressa Shields. It would be awful. It would be a violent knockout, and everyone would get disgusted. But no, this is what you want, Clarence. So take it on, man. You silly hoe. Then you got the Chris Billam Smith fight on a Sunday, which is rare, but it happens, including Nigel Ben Eubank won. And there was Ben Whittaker, the Benzo Ben Whittaker, the Bellend Ben Whittaker. Yeah, he's the kind of guy, he reminds me of Al Pacino in Tropic Thunder. Yeah, who's a secret Batman. He's the kind of guy who'd like to dangle his dice on Lance's forehead, and his eyes are way too close together. Yeah, he KO'd his boy. He's flashy, and I watch him. He's entertaining. Yeah, we want to see him get beat, but and he will. He will. All these non-punching journeymen get very close to chinning him. So wait until he fights someone decent, Who else did have? Lauren Price on the bill. She's awful, man. She looks like Ronda Rousey shadow boxing. Terrible, terrible, you know. And they want to push her, but she's so bad. They know they can't get away with it. Yeah. As for Ben, what's his name? CBS. Chris Billam Smith, yeah. I mean, I said he would struggle and win on points. He struggled badly. And he eventually stopped Masternak because he hurt his rib, allegedly. But it was a kind of dubious stoppage. What I mean by that is he suddenly got an injury when he looked okay. But Billam Smith, he's a journeyman at world level. He's not going in very far. He's not going very far. I mean, I'm surprised he beat Hug Coley. I'm glad he did, but I'm surprised he did. Right? But I can't see much out of Billam Smith. Jay Opataya would absolutely destroy him. It would be awful. It would be entertaining, but it would be a beatdown, a 5-round beatdown. And you see a brave guy with a decent chin take all kinds of shots and get sparked. Yeah, so what else is going on? Well, Sonny Edwards. Sonny Edwards will be fighting Bam Rodriguez, Jesse Bam Rodriguez, right? And in the United States, and you know what? This is an interesting fight. You know, Sonny has done the camps right. He went away to like Tenerife or something, and he gave himself 3 weeks in America. I think this guy Bam, he's moved down in weight, and he looked fat. He looked fat at the early press conferences, man. And people talk about his power, but I think it's overrated. It's overrated. But the only thing that worries me is that Marcel Breathwaite put Sonny down hard. Sonny down hard. So I'm not totally sold on Sonny's durability, but I'm not sold on Bam Rodriguez's power either. Sonny even scored higher on a punch machine, right? The punch machine, you know, when it's meant to measure your power. And Sonny hit harder, which has got to be a shocker, man, because he's got about 20% of a knockout ratio. So at this point, I'd like to see the weigh-in. I see how drained Bam is. But he seems confident, Sonny. He seems confident, man. You know, he's in good shape. He's done the camps properly. Would he be able to keep out of trouble and box to a win? I think it'll be a messy fight. You know. And, you know, I want Sonny to win. You know, it's an interesting fight. We have history on this channel. He tried to dox me, and then he doxed an innocent man. But he still came on the live. He gave me £80, which isn't really enough to bribe me. And I forgave him. Why? Why did I forgive Sonny? Because I have a huge heart, blood. Yeah, my heart is so big. Yeah, I can barely fit it in my rib cage. My heart is as big as Jupiter. You understand me? And Sonny is funny, man. Even though he is a week away from fighting for the world title, he's still rowing, beefing with, what's his name? Curtis Woodhouse. And Curtis Woodhouse, right, is getting rinsed. Which, the thing is about Sonny, he can rinse the lower grade peoples without any problems. But when he steps up to the Triple B, he gets put in his place, blood. Yeah? And Alex Woodhouse, who's Curtis's cousin, who he had a fight with, who claims Curtis and his dad stole the inheritance. I mean, I don't know how much truth there is in this, man. But, you know, apparently Curtis gave him a few slaps and he couldn't put him over. So, yeah, I mean, I don't follow these Twitter conversations. It takes a long time to, like, follow who said what, who said this, who's true, who's not. So, but what's his name? Sonny has been beefing with Curtis. He also beefed with Chris Billam Smith. He said, if people knew what you said in a message, in a private message to A friend of mine, they would think differently. That's interesting, man. Because what is it? Is it to do with violence, with sexuality, emotionality? I don't know, man. But Sonny should be more brave. And he is brave, actually, on the whole. And he should put up exactly what CBS said so we can know what this man's about. But yeah, we move on. We move on to boxing. We move on to the 23rd show, right? Which has got a bizarre poster, which is so satanic. The 23rd of December is the end of Saturnalia. It's a pagan festival, okay? And what have they done? Well, they made a massive poster, which looks cheap, of all these guys looking like demons and zombies. It's very, what, does that seem normal to you? That you should just randomly, unless it was Halloween, which is also, by the way, a satanic ritual, right? Does it seem okay? Does that seem okay? I don't think so, man. They're clearly saying this is a satanic ritual, but I look forward to the fights on the 23rd. I hope my boy Jarrell Big Baby Miller irons out David Dubum because, we'll get some good money. Anyway, peace in the Middle East.